ain't tripping, I get visions with the lights off. Only with the lights off, only with the lights off. I ain't tripping, I get visions with the lights off. Lights on, lights off.
One love, y'all. Welcome to the Feedback Loop. I'm Nyiam. Just wanted to make an update on the remote viewing February 2021 project. This is an ongoing experiment where I'm attempting to use remote viewing to gain precognitive information on upcoming news events. So I use remote viewing to gather data on major news events of the month that's coming up. So in January of 2021, I did a remote viewing session last month, and I uploaded it to my website, thefeedbackloop.info, and I timestamped it on the Bitcoin Cash blockchain, so it's notarized. One of my main impressions during the session that I want to bring your attention to is on page 11, but I'll start on my website and kind of just read these little summaries that I post to quickly summarize some of my impressions. So it says here, stadium-like, main path runway, and I wrote jumbotron. Reminds me of a keynote speech or entrance of an athlete or a fighter, like a large sense of display in a show, like an event, a sense of oversight and planning, emotions of excitement, eager and waiting for something to play out and unfold. So that was an interesting impression that I had, like a large stadium, voices, kind of like the main stage, the path, the runway here, kind of like this weird trapezoid shape, and then what looked like a jumbotron to me, like one of those big screens. So that was an interesting impression, kind of weird for me at the time, seeing that, we're in this whole situation where there's not really big events, but I recorded what I saw. My next major impression that I saw was, this was like an entrance, and it reminded me a lot of like a wrestler's entrance, or an artist, someone coming out into the auditorium. I wrote entrance. It's dark here. Voices, many, like a crowd. I said, I see a person in a narrow space, and I saw it was dark, and then I see something open up, and this person comes out from behind it, and I said, it looks like they come from behind a curtain stroke darkened area. And I wrote, like a performer coming onto the stage from backstage. So that was like a very, I close my eyes and I see this little sequence play out of this darkness, and then this person emerging out, stepping out into the stage, and I sketched that there. Jumping over to my session, this was I also saw a person, a trapeze person. This one was weird. So I see a person hanging from this, on these ropes, and I get a sense of, athletic. This person's hanging on there. So let me jump over to my session so you can see kind of like more details in this. So here's my drawing of the stadium area. I wrote, reminds me of like a keynote speech or stroke entrance of a fighter or performer, wrestler entrance, intro. That was the vibe I got here. And I had stuff about, a stadium, excitement. It's an event. It's played out. Early in my session, I saw here in my Playfair section, in this third column down the page, the third row, sorry, I saw a person in like with their arms and legs kind of like in a starfish, almost like a starfish type pose. And probing that, I got a sense of like cloth and a rope. And so I thought that was interesting. I saw this person outstretched like that. So getting further on in my session, I wanted to see this. What was that person that I saw with the rope? And I saw this trapeze person hanging on, somehow attached to these ropes, and acrobatic. I got a sense that this person's somehow suspended up here. So those were some interesting impressions, and I submitted them, recorded them, posted them up. So a big event, some type of performer stepping onto the stage, kind of like this big event that people are waiting to see. And I don't follow mainstream stuff. You know what I mean? So when I did this session, I wasn't thinking about what's coming up the next month. I just do my remote viewing. But now February 7th was the Superbowl, and there's the Weeknd, he's a Toronto artist, one of my African brothers there, so big ups to him. He did the halftime show at the Super Bowl, and it was kind of like a big secret. He spent $7 million of his own money to make this performance what it was, so no one really knew exactly how this was going to play out, if there would be other performers, or what the design or what the performance would play out as. But I saw aspects of this performance before it unfolded, so I just wanted to show the article here on CNN, and I'm going to jump over to a video clip here just to show you these moments that I picked up on in my session. So this is the opening sequence. I turned off the sound. I don't want to catch any type of copyright strikes here. So here's the Weeknd. He's the main he's the performer. But tell me if you see anything interesting related to my session here. Here's the opening sequence. You can see there a person with their arms and legs outstretched, and they're suspended up in the air, and they get lowered down. They come down. And it's very dark in this area, as you can see. And then this back area opens up, and the Weeknd walks out onto the stage, and it's kind of like this grand revealing moment, and it is very wrestler-like. You know what I mean? Some people on Twitter were making jokes that it was like a WWF entrance. So hopefully you can see that there, how we had the man with the outstretched trapeze getting lowered down, the back area opening up, this light pouring out. And so you can see here my drawing of what I saw, this person coming out of this darkened area, and all of a sudden they emerge out, and you can see here this screenshot from the performance when he walks out here. Here's my drawing of the stadium area. So you can see I drew the main stage area at the bottom. I have this kind of trapezoid shape in the middle, which is this setup here where all these the choir was standing, and they have the set design basically, and then up top is the jumbotron, which I drew up here at the top. So hopefully you can see the correlations, how I had the set design in my session, the trapeze artist coming down, the nature of the unveiling, kind of like some kind of curtain or something opening up, and this person coming out in the dark, coming out from the darkness. Hopefully you can see how remote viewing could be a useful tool, and why the government developed these techniques, being able to tap into someone's intentions or plans before they're unveiled. So you can imagine in a military scenario, having some remote viewers to be able to tell what someone's war plan is going to be, how their artillery is set up, or something like that. These are the kinds of things that are possible with remote viewing. So hopefully this is a cool demonstration, kind of like a public way to show, you have this big public performance. No one really knew the true nature of it, except the people involved. And here, through remote viewing, I was able to pick up on subtle, specific things, like the, coming out of the darkness, the opening, trapeze artist. So there's my drawing there, the little star-shaped man, and the actual performance there. So hopefully that was interesting. If you want to learn more about remote viewing, kind of like how this is done, the science behind it, check out my website, the FeedbackLoop. www.thefeedbackloop.info. You can check out my session work. You can follow this project. Look at my other impressions for this month, and we can follow the news and see if if any of these impressions are accurate. So hopefully this was interesting. If you enjoy my channel, please hit subscribe and like. Support in any way you can. Thanks for watching. One love.